HBC Digest Radio, and we're privileged to be joined with Virginia State University President Dr. McCullough Abdullah. Brother Abdullah, first, thank you for your time. Congratulations on investiture. Talk a little bit about investiture, man. What did you think about the ceremony and your official to Petersburg?
Well, I tell you, I really enjoyed it. It was heavy for me because it's one of those traditions that really bonds you, if you will, to the institution. You start to think about the 135 years of Virginia State University, of where I fit along with the legacy of the other 13 presidents who came before me, and it was real heavy. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great opportunity for us to share a little bit of our history, and also share a lot about our present and our future. And so it was a wonderful ceremony. It was great to have people out. A lot of our constituents, faculty, staff, students, supporters, friends, people who care about Virginia State. So it was a wonderful, wonderful day. It was a wonderful day.
And I definitely encourage everyone who has not seen it. The video of Dr. Abdullah's investiture speech is on hbcdigest.com. I highly encourage you to go check it out. A very powerful speech and very becoming of one of our great young and rising presidents. One of the things that you referenced in that speech
Sure.
was Virginia State being an opportunity university. I think on the surface, a lot of folks kind of get what that means, but there are multiple tiers that you want people to really understand and really start living.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that concept of opportunity university and how that translates to your surrounding area?
Well, I tell you, I think that opportunity is just so important. It's one of the most important things that people have access to. That when you start talking about excellence or greatness, that the first step towards excellence, the first step towards greatness is an opportunity or a chance. And historically, black colleges have been in the business of providing quality opportunities for people to use academic excellence to further their chasing of their own dreams. And so sometimes I think we walk away from that, and I like to walk towards it. I think that we've done so much great work, Virginia State particularly over the past 135 years, but that legacy of opportunity is one that I want us to continue to move forward and do. And I don't want us to walk away from it. I want us to walk towards it. So when people talk about me, one of my stories, of course, is that I graduated at a young age with my PhD in engineering. But when I think about that, for me, the most important thing is not the accomplishment, but the idea that there were so many people who set up that opportunity for me. And without that opportunity, I couldn't be successful. And there's so many young people here now who they are looking for Virginia State to provide them their opportunity for greatness. So before there is excellence, before there's greatness, there's a chance, there's an opportunity. And I want to continue to be in that business of providing quality opportunities to young people. So yeah, that's it.
And there's so many ways in which VSU is providing that opportunity. We just had Congresswoman Alma Adams on the podcast earlier this week, and she talked about the meeting with the land grant black colleges,
Yeah.
And the effort to try to work with the presidents and work with federal and lawmakers to try to make the case to state lawmakers about the importance of matching grants and other funding coming for the agricultural mission. This is part of what you are really promoting. You've been at meetings on Capitol Hill advocating for increased funding for the agricultural HBCU mission. You've also had this groundbreaking grant, $47 million from the Wallace Foundation for Secondary Education.
Yes.
There's so many things that Virginia State has a heavy hand in, trying to shape more positive outcomes for black folks, whether that's farmers, whether that's principals. Can you talk about this multi-tiered approach, and to be so early on in your presidency, you're being very aggressive about speaking to the strengths of Virginia State? Is that intentional? What kind of support do you need to get that done and make people believe in it so early on in the tenure?
Well, I tell you, it's very intentional. And first, I want to do what you did and make sure that I thank Alma Adams. She's been a wonderful supporter of HBCUs. Of course, she's based out of North Carolina, but a wonderful supporter of all HBCUs across the country. Representative David Scott, of course, in Georgia, and my representatives, Representative Bobby Scott, who's been a long-term friend of Virginia State University, and our new rep, Donald McEachin, who all of them I had a chance to meet when we went up to Capitol Hill last week to talk about more opportunities, additional funding for HBCUs, but particularly 1890s, those of our HBCUs who are involved in the land grant mission that includes agriculture. I think it's important that we get our story in front of as many people as possible. There are a lot of people who want to help, who want to be a part of of bringing more quality opportunities to young people. But what we have to do at Virginia State University, what I have to do, is to make sure that I'm continually telling our story, that I'm continually sharing the stories of success of Virginia State, so that those who want to assist Virginia State, those who want to help, have those stories in their bag so that they can share them also. You mentioned one of our great recent ones. I'm very proud of the grant that we got from the Wallace Foundation, over $2 million this year to make sure that we train the next generation of principals. We had an NSF grant, over $3 million to help train the next generation of young people who are interested in STEM majors. And so the more that we can tell the great stories of the great things that are happening here at Virginia State and across our HBCU landscape, I think the more prepared we are to show our value, to show how important we are to young people in the United States, and to make sure that people understand, and if they want to partner with us, that they can join us to partner.
And it's not just something that's you're taking kind of a national approach. You're really focused on the regional development. The teaching grant, the agricultural grant,
Right.
or the agricultural funding. These are things that you specifically talked up about. This is how we improve Ettrick. This is how we improve Petersburg. This is how we reach out to Henrico. This is how we move our way up to Richmond. This is how we increase opportunities all throughout the state of Virginia.
That's right.
And a centerpiece of that upon your arrival was a big piece done in local media that talked about if Petersburg and Ettrick are to improve their commercial and industrial prospects, it's going to start with Virginia State.
Right.
Is that something that is at the top of your priority list?
It is. It is. I believe that Virginia State University, that we have the ability to really be a national player, a national and a global player. But that starts with being able to do the things that we need to do locally and regionally. And so we are as an institution committed to Petersburg, committed to Ettrick, committed to the local cities and counties around us, including Richmond and Henrico, to make sure that we provide and that we're a part of the educational development, the community development, and the economic development in and around this area. I was just yesterday giving a welcome on behalf of Virginia Gateway Region's Economic Development Board, a board that I'm a part of. And I'm a part of it because I believe in the more success that we have together as a region, as a team, the more successful that Virginia State University will be. The more jobs that we can attract in and around this area, the more opportunities that our young people here have to work and stay in the local region. And so, it's in our self-enlightened best interest. But also, I believe that the work that we do together as a team to improve our overall area, it's going to improve everybody, and we will be a great beneficiary of that improvement. And so we're committed. We're committed to the local. We're committed to Petersburg. We're committed to Ettrick. We're committed to the entire region.
Another part of your administration, even in its early stages, has been the incredible gains that you've made personally and institutionally with branding.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, a lot of folks who are asking me about, who are you excited about? I say, well, have you checked out Virginia State? And not just because my mama went there, but because indeed there's a lot of things to look at. Part of that is you and the dynamic work of your video team, which is producing this right now. They got you fielding punts.
Yeah.
That's going viral.
Yeah.
They got your investiture speech hooked up. That's going viral. Talk about that branding element, which is so critical to so many HBCUs, but you seem to have found a real niche in working out in the digital space for people to become excited about what you're doing, not just with the projects, but with the commercials.
Right.
So many other things that you guys have done over recent years, even in that you've continued when you've arrived.
Well, I tell you, I think we're very fortunate. And I'm of course looking at them now, right? Because they're behind the camera right now, right? Silent but deadly.
That's a good
right.
look.
But they are. We are fortunate to have two gentlemen, Jesse Vaughn and Cedric Owens. We like to call them together Jesse Owens, and they are a wonderful, wonderful team. They produce incredible quality videos, and I have to thank them, and I honestly thank my predecessor who was wise enough, I believe, to bring them to Virginia State to help brand the institution. I think you couple that with the knowledge of really our students. When you look at the students and you look at how they move with Snapchat and Instagram, and how they're so diligent in terms of collecting data and information to share, honestly, we're just trying to follow in their footsteps and make sure that as best we can that we can share the great stories as soon as we can. that are happening at Virginia State, whether it be from our students. We had a wonderful video, as you know, on athletics with our men's and women's basketball team and football team. Whether it's videos on academics, we're currently traveling. Tomorrow, I leave to go to Campus All-Star Challenge to see our team compete as a member of Campus All-Star Challenge. But whether it be the students, the faculty, the staff, making sure that we capture really good information so people can see for themselves some of the great work that's happening at Virginia State. And so again, I have to thank Jesse Vaughn and Cedric Owens for the great work that they do, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do anything. So very proud.
You mentioned athletics.
Yeah.
You guys have probably the most gorgeous facility in the CIAA now.
Yes.
Which actually is an outreach vein for the community. Can you talk about that big, beautiful new building you have and some of the plans that you have for it?
Well, I tell you, we are so fortunate. A brand new $84 million multi-purpose center here at Virginia State University. It is a beacon for economic development. We've had events in there from the Chesterfield County Chamber of Commerce to the Petersburg Chamber of Commerce. We have many of the high school commencements in the local area happening in our building. We've had a number of concerts, some connected to Virginia State, some not, happening in the venue. And so it's already proven to really be a driver, if you will, for economic development in the area. And that's not even counting how fabulous the facility is for athletics. It's really wonderful. I'm proud and excited that our teams, our volleyball team, our basketball teams, get a chance to play really in a world-class facility. And it's wonderful for recruiting student athletes. What the coaches tell me is they just give them a tour of the facility and sit back and see what the students say. But to be able to play in honestly one of the best athletic venues in Virginia is a great calling card for students. And I believe it's helping us attract some of the best student athletes in the country.
It almost seems, and again, we appreciate your time this morning.
Sure.
I'll let you get out of here on this because I know you got some work to do. There's so much great stuff happening at Virginia State.
Yeah.
It almost seems to run in direct contrast with a lot of the headlines that we see about HBCU culture in national media today. We don't go into the details of some of the things that we're seeing, but obviously it's almost like State is like an anomaly. For somebody like you who's a scholar and very passionate about HBCU culture and the HBCU mission, what does that do for you when you say my school is hey, we're doing our thing, but I know they're struggling outside. I know that creates a strong dissonance for you. What if that is true? How do you kind of remedy that in your own spirit? To see that the sector is not doing so well, but your school is on a definitive upward trajectory.
I'm going to say this. I'm not sure I agree, and I know that a lot of our schools have challenges, and honestly, we at Virginia State, we have our own challenges also. But I think the bigger issue is that we're not always in charge of moving our stories. I follow every HBCU. I'm in touch with many of the presidents, and I know a lot of the fantastic work that is happening on campuses across this country. And when students come to Virginia State on their tours and they say, well, we went by Savannah State or we're going to Morgan State, I'll tell them, of course, I want them to come to Virginia State first. That's my first choice. But I know that there's great work happening on so many of our HBCU campuses. And so it means that, one, we have to, of course, always do a better job of telling our story. But we can't as a group, if you will, kind of get tied into the narrative that others are creating for ourselves. Our students are doing fantastic work in and outside of the classroom every day. Our faculty are dedicated, care about young people, and really want to make the best happen. And since I've had a chance to meet many of the presidents, I know while we all may think differently about some things, that they are incredibly passionate about the work that they do and about the institutions that they lead. And so, I think we've got to do together a better job. And Virginia State, we can do better to really make sure that people understand the real stories of success, because the real stories of success, they aren't the big ones. They aren't the grants, though I love the grants, right? And they aren't the sports teams winning, though I love to have winning sports teams. But it's that every day in the classroom when young people are engaged and they're connected and their lives are transformed by faculty and staff members on campus. And HBCUs have done that, for most of them for over 100 years. And I believe we'll continue to do that. And so I'm a big fan of our space. I'm a big fan.